So it sounds like the only matter that I have is that's in any way contested is the Collin matter. That's the motion to change venue. So we'll take that up. And Mr. Mintz, I believe I've addressed everything else that was on the docket, correct?
Your Honor, I am seeing a case, State versus David Albert Agon. And I'm seeing State versus Allie Mae Balcom, but maybe those were just.
If there was no objection, those were resolved without objection. So we probably prepared a judgment. It probably just did. I just signed a whole bunch of them before I walked in here today. So
got it. No case that I'm aware of then that needs to be called.
All right, thank you, sir, very much. And I probably should have clarified that for you. I know you don't usually cover this docket throughout the. All right, let's start with, let's take up then the matter of State of Oregon versus Ricky Scott Collin, 21 CR 53965. This is here on a motion to change venue. Ms. Counter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you. Amy Counter appearing on behalf of Ricky Collin, who I signed in virtually. I would rely on the defense's motion papers. Some of the authorities cited therein include Article 1, Section 11 of the Oregon Constitution and the Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution, which provide that the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury. Furthermore, the state of Oregon has codified a procedure for securing this right.
Ms. Counter, hang on. I'm going to stop you for 1 second. Mr. Miranda, maybe you need to turn your mic off because I'm getting a lot of feedback here from somebody. So Ms. Counter, is that okay now?
I believe so, Your Honor. It sounds better.
All right. So then the other thing, before you make your argument, I'm not sure what you're referring to because all I received was the blanket motion, a blank motion, 1-page motion saying we move for this. There's nothing else attached to it. There's so when you referenced your memorandum and declarations and stuff, I don't have that. I haven't seen it. If you filed it, it hasn't made it to my file. So I just want you to be aware of that. And my staff just handed me a note. Apparently there was an indictment issued. Can we just get him arraigned on the indictment at this point in time real quickly as just so he doesn't have to come in for a separate date just to deal with that?
Yes, Your Honor. We are scheduled for a 35-day call this afternoon. I did receive a copy of the indictment. I did forward a copy of the indictment to Mr. Collin via email. If Your Honor would like to proceed with an indictment on that or an arraignment.
Sure. So is he named correctly in that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And date of birth is correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that is his true name?
That is his true name, Your Honor, yes.
And do you waive reading and advice or rights?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And do you wish to enter pleas?
We would enter a not guilty plea at this time.
All right, not guilty pleas will be entered to all the counts. Thank you. Then we just make sure that got taken care of. All right. So I just, with regard to the other things that you may have filed in support, I haven't received those, so you might double check. There might be a problem on your end, or it might be a problem that's lost in the system. But you filed it. It looks like the motion to change venue was filed on May 18th. So I can't. It's not like it's a last-minute filing that didn't make it into the system. Something's amiss, probably, perhaps on your side of things. So if you want to file supplemental, I'm happy to give you a chance to do that when we're done. But
absolutely, yes, I'd like the opportunity to file a supplemental paper. I did file a declaration, or at least I thought I did. As soon as we're done presenting the oral argument, Your Honor, I'm happy to ensure that my declaration is adequately filed and served on counsel.
Okay. I also did not receive any supporting documents or declaration or memorandum of law or anything of that nature.
Yeah, so I'll give the state a chance to file a response to any supplemental, but we can do at least a factual record now. I'll wind up taking the matter under advisement.
That sounds fine, Your Honor.
All right, so now you can go ahead and proceed with your argument. I apologize, Ms. Counter. I just wanted to be clear. I didn't see anything. I don't even know why this is necessary. I know nothing about the gentleman. Never seen him before.
I disagree with Mr. Brinson's contention that orders violate anybody's First Amendment rights or Sixth Amendment rights with regard to their not having a purpose. They do have a purpose. The purpose is to protect the public. From the incident that I'm aware of from the PC affidavit, it appeared that these folks went into the store live streaming it as part of apparently a channel of some kind they have where they go around challenging different businesses to engage in some sort of challenge about the mask mandate. That leads to circumstances that spiral out of control. They're purposely agent provocateurs, in essence, going around trying to get a result and threatening to sue people for as a result of that result. So I think there's a public purpose for not allowing them to continue to be together, and I'm going to do that. With regard to their right to mount a defense, I am going to modify the condition to allow them to work with counsel. They can be together with counsel or with counsel as investigators in working on their defense, but not otherwise communicate with each other individually. All right, I'll make those modifications later today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That explains why I haven't received a response from Mr. Mintz in this case. Should we set the date out for a different date on the criminal motions docket, Your Honor, or should we proceed this morning as?
I'm happy to do that if you want to. If you prefer, if everyone would prefer, we could set it out a couple of weeks or whatever time period you need to file. He needs a response. I'm happy to deal with it that way. Do you have a trial date coming up?
We haven't set a trial date yet. We are scheduled for a 35-day call this afternoon.
Okay, so I mean, Mr. Mintz, what's your pleasure? Would you rather just do it later on?
Yeah, either way is fine, Your Honor. I think if there's a witness and the witness is here now, if I'll defer to counsel if she wants to take the testimony now and then to save everyone's schedule. But so I have no preference though.
I'd feel better about it if my written motion were received by the court in advance of the proceeding. So I don't mind setting for a different criminal motions docket day. And my witness will be here at that time. I know where to find him.
Sorry, Mr. Moran. All right, so let's talk about when you want to do it. Today is the 15th. A week from now is perhaps not enough time to give the state a chance to review it and respond. Do you want to try for the 29th?
Yes, Your Honor. That works for the defense.
Mr. Mintz?
That works for me, Your Honor.
All right, June 29th, it is at 8:30 in the morning. I apologize, Mr. Collin, but sounds like there was some snafu in the electronic filing because her motion made it through, but the rest of it did not. So like I said, I know nothing about this case. I don't even know what the basis of why she wants it. So
They're purposely agent provocateurs. They're purposely agent provocateurs. They're purposely agent provocateurs, in essence, going around trying to get a result and threatening to sue people for as a result of that result. So
it'd be helpful for everybody to read it in advance and know what's going on rather than winging it. All right, that's what we'll do. I'll see you, or maybe it won't be me, but someone will see you on the 29th of June.
Your Honor, I do have a request. Would Your Honor be willing and able to set the 35-day call out to the afternoon of the 29th as well? Just in light, I'd like to litigate this issue before we use up the court's time on a conference. If we're able to do that and just have the cases tracked so that it's on the same date of June 29th, that would be preferable for the defense.
Mr. Mintz, your position on that, and I'm gonna have my staff check and see if that's even available.
That's fine with me, Your Honor.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right, so yes, well, I'm willing to do that. Will you submit an order for my signature this morning or taking it off the 35-day call today and setting it for the 29th at 2:30 in the afternoon? All right,
Absolutely.
so Mr. Collin, that's your next date before the court is the 29th of June. You got 2 dates. One's this 8:30 hearing on your motion. The other's 2:30 that day. You need to appear at both of those or a warrant be issued for your arrest. You understand that, sir? All right, we'll see you then. If you're on a release, sir, that agreement, that remains in full force and effect. All right, thank you. All right, we'll see you all then.